Welcome back to another episode of EPL Insights. I hope you all had a great weekend and a very good start to your week. We're all bored due to the international break, but thankfully, Premier League will be back on Saturday and we will be able to see our favorite teams and favorite players in action again. And we had some really good matches on the weekend. Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea, Everton versus City, Arsenal versus Fulham, and lastly the big one, United versus Liverpool. It will be a great weekend in terms of title race, top four race. Let's see by the end of this week who will be on the top. Will Arsenal be able to increase their lead, or will Liverpool make sure that they stay close to Arsenal and they do not fall behind? Let's see. We will talk about that on Friday. We will definitely discuss and do a preview of these matches. But in this video, we will be talking about some hot topics which are currently circulating on social media and fan bases of different clubs are sharing their opinions and their banter regarding that, how they feel, what they think that what is the right thing or what is not right. We will talk about that. So let's start with our first topic. Before I start, let me share the uh, picture which Sky Sports shared during a analysis of Amron versus Arteta, and I'm not sure why this is such a thing that every now and then, whenever a new manager comes, he has to be compared to Arteta. And similarly, whenever a new player or a new right winger or new attacking player comes, he's they suddenly start comparing him with Saka. Again, I'm not saying they should not compare it, but I'm just saying that they should compare. They should try to add context, or they should add other teams or other managers, other players as well at the same times. For example, I really felt that how they can see there are similarities in terms of Arteta and Ruben Amorim tenure in terms of the comparison of their first 50 matches, how they can relate that. Like looking at this image, it's very clear that Amorim is not doing well and he's not doing the right thing. And even I was listening to KJ and Flex on their YouTube channel, and they were also saying that they cannot understand why their management, Manchester United management, and their manager can keep Arteta or Arsenal out of their mouth. Like before, Ruben Ten Hag, he did the similar thing. He always talk about Arsenal, the close margins, and how they performed against Arsenal and why they were not able to win against Arsenal. And based on that, they should be given credit in other matches as well. So it's a very strange thing to talk about, to discuss that why their players, their team, their management felt like that. They had to do a comparison of Amrun with Arteta to give Amrun more margin or to give Amrun more time. It's really very strange for me, and I felt that this was little bit biased and agenda based to compare Amrun and Arteta. I felt that they should have added more managers as well in terms of the comparison of their first 50 games. If you look at the situation of Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, you will feel like Klopp had a similar situation when he came in, or before that, Brendan Rodgers, or even Enzo Maresca when he came into Chelsea, they were a mess. Similarly, I know that when Arteta came into Arsenal, they were a mess, and he made sure that he take the right step to make sure that Arsenal come out of those problems, those challenges, and now how they are performing. It's a long journey. And secondly, one thing which I felt it, the why I felt it was an agenda based, the comparison of Arteta, he was a rookie manager. This was his first job as a first team manager of any club. While Ruben Amorim is an experienced manager and he has won trophies and titles in other country, and they compare with Arteta, I do not feel that was the right thing to do, because if you can compare him with Klopp, you can compare him with Enzo Maresca, that it makes sense. But comparing him with Arteta in terms of their experience, their tenure, it doesn't make sense for me. But again, I'm not saying they should not have compared him with Arteta, but I felt like they should have added other managers as well for the comparison or for the clarity or to show the true picture how Emery is performing. So I did some research. I went on the Google and see how these other managers were performing in their first 50 games. So let me share that with you. So if you look at this picture, it's a comparison of Klopp, Arteta, Enzo Maresca, and Rúben Amorim for their first 50 games in all competitions, and you can see the games won, drawn, the lost, and number of goals scored and against, and the win ratio as well. And if you look at these stats, you can clearly see that there's a huge difference between Ruben Amorim and Mikel Arteta. Even we can say that Mikel Arteta and Klopp would be something which we can compare, but nobody did the first 50 game comparison for Mikel Arteta with Klopp at that point of time. But now they are doing it for Amorim. So that's why I felt it's a little bit biased. And if you look at the numbers, they all show you that Roman Amorim is not doing the right thing, and he's currently struggling in all departments. If you look at the number of games won, if you look at the number of games drawn, look at the goals conceded and scored as well, and you can see all other managers have conceded less goals in comparison to Ruben, while they have all scored more goals in comparison to Ruben. They have lost less games in terms of comparison to Ruben Amorim. They have drawn even less games in terms of. I know Klopp drawn more games than Ruben Amorim, but he has won more game as well at the same time. So that's why I felt this comparison was a little bit unfair, and it wasn't the right comparison. And they should have added other manager as well to make sure that they give a true picture, sort of a clear comparison of how Ruben is performing at Manchester United and he's doing the right thing or not. And if you look at all other managers and their tenure, you would see that they were not having good players at the start. They had like the team which started, which the players which played in their first match and the players currently who are starting in their 11, they are totally different. Like there is a lot of difference in terms of the players who are currently playing and at playing at that point of time. So that's why I felt it was a very wrong comparison. Even I missed to add slot in this comparison. We can have slot added in this list as well in terms of a comparison, but I did add it because they were, although when slot came in, they were not performing well. They were struggling a little bit as well, and people were most of the people were even not considering them as a top four sort of team, but they were saying they missed out on a top four uh, due to the Klopp has gone now and Slot will need to adjust. But Slot made sure that he adjusted according to the resources he had, and he made sure that he wins the Premier League for Liverpool. Again, it was a great achievement for them. But in terms of the comparison, what I'm trying to say is that what Ruben is currently doing, I'm not sure is the right thing. And even when I was hearing their owner, and he was again mentioning Arteta and Sir Alex Ferguson as well, that at that point of time, he was given time. He didn't had a good start. They were struggling as well. But they had to understand that, especially for Sir Alex Ferguson, it was a very different scenario, different situation, different time, different kind of social media, different kind of players, even. And now had all together, if you consider all the aspects, they are all different. Like social media is now very different, players are even now very different, and the way the football games are played, the number of games they are playing, it's all very different. So you cannot compare the era of Sir Alex Ferguson with Ruben Amorim right now. So that's why I didn't felt it was the right thing to do the comparison of Ruben with Arteta or Sir Alex, and that's why I did this comparison. I did other managers as well in this context. So what do you think? Do you think Ruben Amorim need to do more? He needs to adjust more. He needs to perform well, and saying that he will still in the next 3 years he will still be there. Is it the right thing to do or not? Do share your opinion. What you think of Amorim and this comparison? I will share it on the social media platforms as well. So let's talk about the next top two topics simultaneously. Because they are linked and they are related to Arsenal. The thing which I wanted to say to Arsenal fans, you are your own worst enemies. Why you do things which again give ammunition to your rival fans, and you make a fun of, like a fool of yourself out of these debates. Uh, like no one is talking about Havertz right now, but suddenly the Arsenal fans they need to talk about Havertz and they need to do a comparison. Who would you start or who would be starting if Havertz was fit? Will Gyökeres be starting that much amount of games or not? Right now, we need to make sure that we give confidence, we give motivation, we give full support to Gyökeres. And once Havertz is back, we will see about that who will be starting our games. It's the manager decision. It's a manager headache, not something which we should be worrying right now because even Havertz is not available right now. So what's the point of discussing it that who would start if Havertz was fit? So that's something which I felt was very stupid thing to do, or stupid comparison, or stupid analysis in terms of who would be starting Havertz or Gyökeres. And we are giving ammunition to the rival fans, and they can throw dirt on Gyökeres, or they can make fun of our players at the same time as well. So that's why I felt it wasn't the right thing to do again. In my opinion, Gyökeres will start, and he should be our starting number 9. And currently, he has won 2 awards, the best strikers in the world, on in the Ballon d'Or ceremony as well. And then recently, he has won the Player of Nations League as well, by scoring most number of goals. So he will come back, and he just need some time to adjust to our team, our style of play. Again, it's just 7 or 9 games. Again, in the one game, he just came for 5 to 10 minutes in the last 5 to 10 minutes, and even people are counting that game as well as that he hasn't scored. But if you have seen his performances, it has improved. Even in the matches in which he scored, I felt his performances were not that good as much he's currently performing for Arsenal. Like against West Ham, he was very good. And similarly, in the Olympic also game for the in the Champions League, I felt it was one of his best games. The way he played, and we all can agree that the amount of chances or amount of now we see time, space, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Trossard, Rice, they are all getting, even as I'm not saying he's the only reason, but he is one of the main reason that they are all getting that much of space. Saka wasn't fit in the start, and now he started playing regularly for us, and you will see the improvement in Saka, and you will see that now people like defenders are not doubling on Saka, and they will give him more space, and that will eventually benefit Arsenal. So that's why I felt it's not something we should be worrying about it, and we should give our full support to Gyökeres and Havertz as well once he's back. Secondly, the point which I wanted to discuss, which was again, we all Arsenal fans started again giving ammunition to our rival fans and making fun of our ourselves and showing other rival fans that we have problems in our team. The incident in which Saka and Gyökeres they were talking about the penalty incident. Why we need to make it such a fuss out of it? Like we saw that Gyökeres and Saka discuss about that who would be taking that penalty. Regardless who was the main penalty taker at that point of time, they both didn't make a fuss out of it. They discussed it, and then Saka took the penalty, and we didn't know what they discussed, how they discussed. And the fan like saying Saka showed Gyökeres he's the main man of Arsenal, and he showed that Gyökeres won't be getting his way out in the Arsenal team like he was getting at Sporting. All that stuff. And similarly, they are saying for Gyökeres, instead of supporting Gyökeres, that Saka is getting like he's getting the ownership of Arsenal. He's now becoming the king of Arsenal, and he's becoming a dictator. He can do whatever he wants. It should not be like that. He should not be given that kind of authority. It wasn't like that. Come on, guys. It was a very simple or very like simple situation, fun situation for me. They both discussed it, and they discussed it, and they both said it that it's they will keep it in the house. Saka said the same thing, and he praised Gyökeres, and he said that he will score more goals. And Gyökeres didn't even discuss about it at any platform. And but we need to make it out of a like we need to make an issue out of it. And if you have seen once the penalty was scored by Saka, so you can see this Jokeris went to him and they both celebrated and hugged, and it was like a normal thing. It wasn't like an issue at all. So that's why I ask Arsenal fans to hold their nerves, stay calm down, and things will get better once we start gelling our players. Once they start building their chemistry more and more, and once they played more matches, definitely Gyökeres will score more goals, Saka will score more goals, Eze will score more goals, and definitely they will improve. And we have seen the improvement in every other match. Like after the first, second, third match, when fans were crying all about that, we are playing with the handbrake on. We should not be playing like that. We are so defensive, blah blah blah. But now we are seeing that it's getting better and better. We are getting more creative. We are scoring more goals. The one thing which I just remember, which I saw on social media, and I should have discussed in the first part of the video, but I saw there's a post that now Sky Sport is discussing about who is on the top of the table if they based on scoring open goals to show that Arsenal is not performing well or Arsenal is not at the top of the table or they do not deserve it. So just enjoy these things and stay together and support each other and support Arsenal fans and support Arsenal players. That's all I want to say. So that's all from my side. We will do the match previews in our next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this video, please do subscribe, like, and share this video with others. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.